All right, here we go. The final one, final video. Well, I am super happy. Like this is kind of gonna be the best skid steer I think I've ever done. It's got a healthy little curl on it there for the bucket. I could put a little bit of weight in the front, but it will dump a full and curl a full load. I modified a high-tech MG85 for continuous rotation on it, and yeah, it's awesome. Like it was kind of funny at first because I was it wouldn't curl, and I was like, oh, what is going on with this now? And I guess I just set the endpoints way down so I wasn't getting a full curl on it. But once I figured that out, then it was all good. I would say because there's a bit of a difference in height with the tracks elevated, I'm gonna have to end up putting a little bit of a I think I have to put a little bit of a little like I don't know what the word is there, just like a little piece on the bottom. I just got to kind of take up the difference in height, just so when I put the bucket down all the way on the ground, oops, it's pretty snappy like a real one. So that's fully down on the ground, and there's just a bit of a difference in height. You can't see on the uneven surface. Maybe you can see there a little bit, but anyways, I'm gonna put a little cutting edge or something like that, maybe on the bottom, and that'll take care of that. And yeah, I mean, this thing hauls ass. There's a couple of things I did this morning to it. Like I brought it out for a kind of initial test run, and like I said, I was like, oh, it won't curl and all this kind of stuff. But once I kind of went through the radio and fine-tuned a bunch of stuff, I was finding that actually I'm totally good to go, and yeah, it's up and running. So I got to what do I got to do? I put a BEC into it because actually this morning when I was pushing it through the gravel, it was kind of cutting out on me, and I had that same problem with my excavator where the alarm kept on beeping and beeping at me all the time, and I think it ended up kind of being that I was just trying to draw more amps than the battery had in its capacity, so I just decided that what I would do, and also too, I think what it could have been as well is because I had the endpoints down and I was trying to curl the motor, and it wasn't curling the bucket back, that I think I was also maybe potentially maxing out the capacity of the battery, and then it would set the alarm off. So maybe because I dialed the endpoints in, I don't need a BEC. I'm not sure, but I am also using some digital servos, and I remember a guy at a hobby store telling me a little while ago that digital servos really use a lot of battery power and stuff. I got a linear actuator in here, and I got 3 high-tech servos in here as well. So I just threw a BEC in. I'm also going to throw an auxiliary power supply or an auxiliary port on this as well. So where it needs it or not, I'm not sure, but I put one in just to help with dispersing out the battery power a little better throughout the model. If there was a demand, it would kind of give everything a little bit of a better distribution of power. So I did that. I do still have to do a little detail on the sprockets, so that's one thing to do, just to kind of tidy up the tracks a little bit, make them look a little nicer. And then what else was there to do? Oh, yeah, run the auxiliary power for it, and then I'll have to make some attachments, and we'll see what kind of rabbit hole that leads to. But yeah, it's got it's good. This thing's good. I'm really happy with it. Like, it really exceeded my expectations for what I thought I was going to end up having here. So I'm gonna have to go and revisit my wheeled skid steer now, and like I said before, kind of spend a bit of time to really bring that one up and make it better than what it's been before in the past. And yeah, get this thing out for some work. It's ready to do it. But yeah, really happy. It's kind of funny because this high-tech servo, it's quite snappy, like a real excavator bucket would be. But yeah, the high-tech MG85s, I just love those little micro servos. I think they're just awesome little things. They got lots of power behind them and stuff. So on the whole, it should be a really good model. Should work well for me, and I'm really happy to have it done. I do have to change out that drill bit still. That's one thing I should do. I think it might be like a 1/4 inch bit I got in there. I'm not sure. So I'll have to put a little bit of rod in there and then put some nuts and bolts on the side to sort of lock that in. It would benefit a little bit from maybe trying to somehow pin this down a bit. You can see I got a bit of a gap there. That'd be nice to kind of help lock that in. This one's now running 7.4 volt LiPo, which in the past I was always running a little 6 volt NIM battery for it, 1200 milliamp battery. But just when I had the BECs that I had, they all had JST connections on them, and so I just decided I'll just put a 7.4 volt LiPo into it, and it'll do fine with that. It's a little bit more of a space saver for me, so that's nice. And yeah, it seems to be so far that you know, if I did that in the past like that, I was just getting jammed up with stuff all over the place. You know, I'd say I'm not going to as well, but I wouldn't make it that far in the other model without some issues there. So that's really nice to see that I'm not having track jamming issues and stuff like that. I might just get caught a little bit in between the tracks and pop out, but I'm okay with that. So yeah, it's on the whole, I'm really pleased with it. I can get the Bruder guy in there. He kind of pushes forward a little bit, I'm not going to lie, with the actuator, just because of the space it needs to kind of to move when lifting the boom up, but it's not anything that's really a major deal break. So it's nice I can actually put the guy in there and fit everything in and get the interior fully in and the whole bit. So yeah, really great. Super happy to finally, after such a long time, I'm going to say that now, there we go. And sometimes that servo is kind of, I find if I pull the stick back really fast with those linear actuators, they shut off kind of before they're at their end point. So sometimes I think if I just slow it down a little bit, it'll give it time to catch up maybe, and then it's fine. But it is an L12. It does seem to be lifting a load of dirt, which is fine. I know in the past when I was trying to lift like that little red Bruder trailer with the dual axle one, and I put an L12 on that, I think I cooked an L12 lifting it. So the bucket's considerably smaller. So we'll see how it fares on the whole. I kind of had a little bit of reservations if it's going to have the longevity, like I know an L12 would, or sorry, an L16 would, but I think it should be good. I'm lifting a smaller amount of gravel, and I think that'll do me nicely over time. So it should be good there. And yeah, there we go. So there's my Delta skid steer. You know, like I said, I'm pretty happy with it, really. This thing was honestly sitting on the bottom of my shelf upstairs, and I thought I'd never have it running again. So to have it up and running, doing what it's doing now, I'm really quite pleased with that, because I was basically done with the thing, and I just thought I'd never have it up and running again. So to get the tracks on there, that really made everything with this one, and yeah, going really well. So there we go. Track skid steer, good to go. I got a skid steer now. Time for me to get really rolling with part 18, I think, of the track building series. So stay tuned. It's coming. Later.